I knew I was pregnant 3 weeks before the wedding. I found out alone, barefoot on my bathroom floor at 2 in the morning, staring at a thin pink line that felt louder than a scream. My best friend was planning table settings and cake flavors. The man I loved was practicing vows meant for another woman. And I was carrying his child. I didn't tell him at first. I told myself I would. After the honeymoon, after the dust settled, after I figured out how to destroy fewer lives at once. I stood beside the bride at dress fittings, held her hand when she cried about seating charts, smiled through brunches and champagne toasts while nausea curled in my stomach like a secret. At night, the groom texted me things he shouldn't have. I can't do this. I miss you. I wish it were you. I never answered. I pressed my palm to my stomach and whispered apologies to a life that had chosen the worst possible timing to exist. The wedding day arrived anyway. She was glowing, my best friend, my sister in everything but blood. When she hugged me, she said, "I don't know what I'd do without you." I almost broke then. The church filled. Music swelled. The groom took his place at the altar, jaw tight, eyes scanning the room until they found me. When our gazes locked, something inside me cracked open. The officiant spoke words about love and destiny and forever, lies dressed up as blessings. Then came the question. If anyone here has reason why these two should not be joined in holy matrimony. My heart slammed against my ribs. I object. The word fell heavy and violent, like a body hitting water. The bride turned so fast, her veil slipped. "What?" she whispered, then louder, laughing in disbelief. "You're kidding. You have to be kidding." I stepped forward. Every eye burned into me. "I'm not." "You're my maid of honor," she said. "You're my best friend." "I know," I said, tears blurring the stained glass into color and fire. "And I love him." The groom exhaled like he'd been drowning. The church erupted, gasps, whispers, phones raised high. "You slept together?" the bride screamed. "No," I said. "Not recently, but that doesn't make it better." The groom took a step toward me. I should have stopped this months ago. That's when I felt it. The sudden wave of dizziness, the unmistakable reminder of what I was carrying. I pressed a hand to my stomach without thinking. The bride saw it. Her eyes narrowed. "Why are you holding yourself like that?" Silence fell. I swallowed. My voice shook. "Because I'm pregnant." The sound she made wasn't human. The groom froze. "What?" "It's yours," I said, looking only at him. "I was going to tell you. I just didn't know how." The room detonated. His mother stood up screaming. Someone dropped a glass. The officiant muttered a prayer like it might reverse time. The bride staggered back, laughing again, this time hollow and broken. "You planned this," she said. "Both of you. You planned to humiliate me." "No," the groom said, horror etched across his face. "I swear to you, I didn't know." She turned on him, eyes blazing. "If you leave with her, you are dead to me, to my family, to everyone." He looked at her, truly looked, for the first time all day. Then he looked at me, at my shaking hands, at the future written in my body whether any of us liked it or not. "I can't marry you," he said quietly. "I never should have tried." The bride collapsed into a chair, sobbing, mascara streaking down a face that had been perfect minutes earlier. We didn't run at first. We walked, past stunned guests, past people who loved us and hated us in equal measure, past the doors opening onto blinding sunlight and ringing bells that felt cruel in their cheer. Outside, I broke. "I ruined everything," I sobbed. "I ruined her life." He pulled me into his arms, hands trembling as they rested against my back, then my stomach, careful, reverent. "We ruined it by lying," he said, "not by telling the truth." Sirens wailed somewhere in the distance. Police, ambulances, drama racing toward someone else's disaster. Behind us, a wedding lay in ruins. A bride sat alone at an altar built on trust that had shattered in seconds. Ahead of us was nothing but scandal, consequences, and a child who would one day ask how their story began. And all I could think was this: love doesn't always arrive clean. Sometimes it shows up late, pregnant, and screaming. I object in the middle of a church full of witnesses. In the bride, the moment she said I object, I felt something ancient and feral tear loose inside my chest. At first, I thought I'd misheard. Surely the word hadn't come from her. My maid of honor, the girl who held my dress while I peed, who cried with me over Pinterest boards and guest lists, who swore she would never let anything hurt me. I turned around smiling, already rehearsing a laugh, ready to tease her later for ruining the moment. Then I saw her face, white, shaking, guilty. The church spun. When she said she loved him, it felt like my ribs caved inward. When he stepped toward her, something in me died so cleanly it was almost surgical. But it was the pregnancy that ended me. I remember the exact sound the word made in the air. Pregnant, soft, casual, nuclear. I don't remember sitting down, but suddenly the altar was far away, and my hands were clutching the chair like it might float. Everyone was staring at me now, not with shock, but with pity, the worst look of all. They left together. They didn't even look back. The doors closed behind them, and the bells started ringing like the universe was mocking me. I sat there in my wedding dress while my mother screamed, my father went pale with rage, and my future evaporated in front of 400 witnesses and a dozen raised phones. That was the moment I made a decision. I would not be the woman people whispered about in sympathetic tones. I would be the woman they feared crossing. What she did next. I canceled the honeymoon from the front pew. I stood up, veil crooked, mascara streaked, voice steady in a way that terrified even me, and said, "The reception is still happening. I paid for it." People blinked. My mother whispered my name like a warning. I smiled. If they were going to humiliate me, I would use it. At the reception, I took the microphone before anyone could stop me. "I want to thank everyone for coming," I said, lifting my champagne flute. "And I want to thank my maid of honor and my almost husband for teaching me an important lesson today." The room went silent. Never ignore your intuition, and never mistake loyalty for love. Phones were definitely recording now. I drank, I smiled, I danced with his cousin out of spite. And then, quietly, methodically, I began to burn their lives down. The fallout. I called his firm first, not hysterical, not angry, calm, professional. "I believe there may be an ethics concern involving one of your partners," I said, "and I have documentation." Then I called her employer, then her parents. Then I sent myself every message I'd ever suspected, but never dared to read twice. Screenshots are forever. Within 48 hours, their names were everywhere. Not romantic, not tragic, scandalous, betrayal. Pregnant mistress interrupts wedding. People didn't call her brave, they called her calculated. As for him, his mother didn't speak to him again. His promotion vanished. Friends chose sides, and most of them chose the woman who had been left bleeding at the altar, not the lovers who ran. I watched it all unfold from my apartment, still in my wedding dress, glass of red wine staining the white silk. And for the first time since the church, I laughed. The last move. Months later, I mailed her something. No return address. Inside was a photo from the wedding, one she'd never seen. Him looking at her, not with love, with panic. On the back, I wrote, "You didn't steal him from me. You took him before I could finish outgrowing him." I signed it with my new last name, the one I chose myself. Because here's the thing they never understood. They thought the story ended when they ran. Mine began when I was left standing alone, and finally free.